Taryn was always the adventurous one in our relationship. When she first mentioned the idea of adding someone else, just once, I thought she was joking. Then I met Kara, and everything changed. What started as a fun experiment ended up reshaping everything I thought I knew about love. If you had asked me 2 years ago if I'd ever be in a relationship with 2 women, I would have laughed. Not because I was against it, but because I didn't think I could even handle the chaos. I'm the type who likes order. Quiet mornings, a clean apartment, Sunday grocery runs. My girlfriend, Taryn, she's the opposite. Spontaneous, loud in the best way, always reaching for something just out of reach. We'd been together almost 3 years when she brought it up. We were sitting on our tiny couch, half watching a show and eating Thai takeout, when she said it. Babe, what would you think about bringing someone in? Just for a night, like a third. I thought she meant a third spring roll. I blinked at her. A third what? She smiled, not nervous at all. A third person. Like, for fun. At first, I laughed. I really thought she was joking. Then I saw the way she looked at me. Not pushy, just curious, and I realized she was serious. I'd heard couples talk about this sort of thing, sure, but we weren't those couples. We were comfortable, solid. I wasn't insecure, but I also wasn't adventurous in that way. Taryn always got flirted with when we went out, and I never worried. I knew she loved me. Still, I asked, why? Are you bored? She frowned. No? God, no. I think it might be exciting for both of us. I didn't answer right away. I spent the rest of the night pretending to watch the show while my mind spun in every direction. I knew people who did threesomes. Some worked out. Most didn't. But I also knew Taryn, and she wasn't careless. 2 weeks passed before I brought it up again. We were getting ready for bed, and I just said it. If we do this, it has to be a one-time thing. She sat up fast. You mean it? I nodded. We try it once. No drama, no feelings. We talk about everything before and after. She kissed me like she just won something. We didn't rush into it. We set rules. We agreed that if either of us felt weird or uncomfortable, we'd stop everything. No questions asked. Then we went out. It was a Friday night. We hit a small club downtown. Not too wild, but not boring either. I wore a black jumpsuit Taryn picked out for me. She wore her signature leather jacket and bold red lipstick that always got attention. We danced. We drank. And then I saw her. Kara? She was leaning on the bar, sipping something pink and cold. Her eyes caught mine before Taryn even noticed her. I looked away, flustered. Taryn nudged me. She's hot, she whispered. I didn't answer, but when Kara caught my eye again and smiled, I knew something was shifting. Taryn approached her first. I watched from a few feet away as they chatted, laughed, leaned closer. I expected to feel jealous or awkward, but instead, I felt curious. Like I was watching a movie I wasn't part of yet. Then Taryn waved me over. Jade, this is Kara. Kara, my girlfriend. I expected a weird reaction, maybe even judgment, but Kara just smiled and held out her hand. I figured. She said, you two have that synced up vibe. We talked for hours. Kara wasn't just pretty. She was smart, funny, and asked questions like she really cared about the answers. She worked in publishing, lived alone, and wasn't shy about flirting. But it never felt forced. Around midnight, Taryn looked at me. Are we doing this? She asked softly. I took a deep breath. Yeah. Kara came home with us. I won't get into the details. Some things don't need to be told. But it was fun. Messy in places. New. Different. But not uncomfortable. Not wrong. What I didn't expect was how easy it felt. The way Kara joked with us the next morning while we made coffee. The way she didn't rush out or act like it was a walk of shame. Clates. She left after breakfast, gave us both a hug, and said, that was fun. You two are lucky. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. Over the next week, Taryn and I went back to normal. Sort of. Except now we had this shared memory we couldn't stop revisiting. Not in a bad way. In a way that made us smile at each other across the room for no reason. Then Kara texted Taryn, just a meme at first. Something stupid about cats. Then a hey, you two okay? Then more messages. They started texting every day. Then she started texting me too. It didn't feel invasive. It felt comfortable. After about 2 weeks, Kara asked if we wanted to get drinks. No pressure. Just friends. We agreed. It turned into a regular thing. Friday night drinks, then occasional Sunday brunches, then a movie night. One night, Kara stayed over again. This time, we didn't plan it. It just happened. And that's when I realized I liked her. Not just physically, not just as a one-night memory. I liked her laugh, the way she always wore mismatched socks, the way she paused before answering anything serious. I liked her as much as I liked Taryn. That scared me. One night after Kara left, I sat on the floor in our bedroom, staring at nothing. Taryn sat beside me. "You okay?" she asked. "I like her," I said. "I do too," she said. "I thought this was supposed to be one time." "Maybe it doesn't have to be," she said. I turned to look at her. "Are we really doing this?" Taryn smiled softly. "We already are." Waking up next to Taryn had always been one of my favorite parts of the day. She snored lightly, always curled toward me like a cat chasing warmth. But the morning after we both admitted we had feelings for Kara, I noticed a shift. She was already awake. Staring at the ceiling, I rubbed my eyes and whispered, "You've been up long?" "A while," she said. "You're thinking about her." "Yeah." I sat up against the headboard. "So what does this mean?" Taryn turned to me slowly. "I don't want to break what we have, but I also don't want to lie and say I don't care about her." I nodded. "Same." We sat there in silence. The kind that doesn't feel awkward, just heavy. We had a lot of trust between us, but this was new, different. We were standing at the edge of something we couldn't quite name. Later that day, we texted Kara. Not to set up anything physical, just to talk. We asked if she could come over for dinner. She agreed. We made tacos. Taryn insisted on fancy toppings like pickled onions and fresh cilantro. I just focused on keeping my hands from shaking. Kara showed up in jeans and a soft hoodie, hair tied back casually like it was any other weeknight. She smiled at us like nothing was strange. "Smells amazing." We ate, laughed, avoided the elephant in the room until Kara finally put her fork down. "So, are we going to talk about it?" Taryn glanced at me. I took a deep breath and went first. "I don't think it was just a one-time thing for us." Kara blinked, then slowly smiled. "I was hoping you'd say that." And just like that, it was out in the open. We didn't jump into some big relationship right away. The three of us agreed to move slowly. There were a lot of moving parts, a lot of feelings involved. We weren't trying to rush into chaos. We had to learn how to communicate all over again. It wasn't like dating one person. It was like dating two people, and being one of the two people someone else was dating. Everything had to be open, honest, and said out loud. No assumptions. At first, we took turns. Movie nights with Kara at her place, lazy weekends at our apartment. Sometimes we all stayed in one bed. Sometimes we didn't. It wasn't about sex. Not anymore. It was about connection. My best friend Lisa was the first person I told. Her reaction was mixed. "You're telling me you and Taryn are now dating the same girl?" she said, eyes wide. "Pretty much." "And you're okay with that?" I hesitated. "More than okay." She didn't get it. Not really, but she didn't judge either. "I mean, it's your life," she said. "Just don't forget who you are in all this." That stuck with me. Was I losing myself? Or was I actually finding a version of myself that I didn't know existed? A few months in, Kara got offered a new lease on a bigger apartment downtown. She asked if we wanted to move in with her. Taryn was immediately excited. "It's closer to everything." I was quiet for a second. Is this too fast? But the truth was, I already felt like we were living in each other's pockets. Kara had a toothbrush at our place. We had drawers at hers. It was messy to live apart and act like we didn't, so we moved in together. The new place had 3 bedrooms, but we only used 2. One for sleeping, one for working. The third became a shared closet, because apparently 3 women collect a ridiculous amount of clothes. Living together was surprisingly peaceful. We had a routine. Kara cooked breakfasts. Taryn handled the music. I made coffee and handled grocery lists. We shared a bed every night. There was no middle. We rotated without thinking about it. Sometimes I'd wake up holding Taryn's hand while Kara's leg rested over both of us. It never felt crowded. It felt right. Then came the club nights. Taryn missed going out. She thrived on music, flashing lights, the beat under her skin. Kara and I were more chill, but we agreed to go out again for fun. No expectations. The first night out as a trio, we didn't plan anything special, but something about how we moved, how we danced, drew attention. Women approached us, asked questions, flirted. Taryn leaned into it, charming and bold. Kara followed, more mysterious, but just as magnetic. I watched them from the edge of the dance floor and smiled. They were beautiful. We were beautiful. That night, we talked on the way home. Taryn asked, "What if we invited someone for a night? Like before?" Kara glanced at me. "Only if we're all on board." I didn't say no. The first time we brought someone home again, we made our rules clear. She wasn't staying. We were honest about being a trio. No false hopes, no secrets. It worked, and it kept working. We started going out once or twice a month. Sometimes we'd bring someone back. Sometimes we'd just dance until our feet hurt and crash at home. We never forced anything. We weren't collecting people. We were just open to moments. And everyone we met was treated with respect. No matter their race, shape, or style, what mattered was energy. Consent, clarity, that was the rule. Always honest, always safe, always equal. At some point, it became a joke among our friends. "You three are wild," someone said at brunch. But we weren't wild, we were solid, more solid than most couples I knew. One night, after an especially fun club trip, we got back home and collapsed on the couch. All three of us were exhausted. Kara kicked her heels off first and curled into my side. Taryn grabbed a blanket and threw it over all of us. "I love this," she said. I looked at them both. Me too. And I meant it. Not the clubbing, not the nights out, not even the flings. Them. Us three. Our place felt more like home than anything I'd known before. The three of us moved in rhythm. Coffee in the mornings, shared playlists during chores, lazy Sundays under one blanket watching bad reality shows. But the most surprising part wasn't the comfort. It was how easy it became to live with two people I loved, deeply and differently. It wasn't perfect, but it felt right. Still, as much as I loved our quiet bubble, Taryn had a way of shaking things up. One Friday afternoon, she burst through the front door with a flyer in her hand. "Ladies' night at Voltage. Free entry till 11. You two owe me." Kara smirked. "We just went out last week." "Exactly. That was last week," Taryn said, flopping dramatically onto the couch. "We've been too domestic lately." I raised an eyebrow. "Too domestic? Last night you danced in the kitchen in nothing but socks." "Doesn't count unless there's neon lighting," she grinned. We went. Because saying no to Taryn when she was in one of her clubbing moods was like trying to stop the tide with a mop. Voltage was loud, chaotic, and exactly what Taryn wanted. Kara and I found a quieter corner at first while she made her rounds. She always came back, though, pulling us to the dance floor, wrapping her arms around both of us as the bass pounded under our feet. People noticed us. It was subtle at first, just lingering glances and sidelong smiles. Then came the bolder ones. Women would walk up, start conversations, ask questions. Kara was the best at diffusing tension. She had this way of smiling with just her eyes, warm but measured. She could shut down awkward comments without ever raising her voice. Taryn, on the other hand, sometimes flirted just to see if she could. I wasn't jealous. That surprised me. Instead, I felt proud. I trusted her, trusted them both. But still, we had rules. We came up with them over pancakes the next morning while still in our clothes from the night before. Rule 1, no inviting anyone home unless all three agree. Rule 2, no repeat guests. One night only. Rule 3, everyone we meet deserves respect. No games, no lies, no pretending one of us isn't part of the trio. Rule 4, if even one of us says no, it's a no. Kara added a fifth one, almost as an afterthought. We talk everything out after. No secrets, no holding things in. We all nodded. From then on, the nights out had a different kind of energy. We weren't just partying. We were open, but careful. There were flings. Some fun, some forgettable. I remember one girl, Lexi, tall, shaved head, confidence that lit up the room. We met her on a Tuesday, of all days. She was visiting town for a work conference, dancing alone but not self-conscious. Taryn was the first to approach. Kara followed. I stood back, watching their bodies move in sync. It was like they spoke a language I hadn't fully learned. But when Kara looked back at me and held out her hand, I stepped forward. That night was wild and respectful. And temporary. In the morning, Lexi thanked us for being honest. "Most people don't even know what they want," she said, tying her shoes. "You three, you're a damn constellation." That stuck with me. Over time, we developed a reputation, at least in the local scene. Not a bad one. People knew we weren't into drama. We weren't recruiters or liars. Just three women who loved each other and occasionally let someone step into our orbit for a night. We didn't limit ourselves by race or background. Taryn once told a guy off who asked if we only liked certain types. "We like who we like," she said flatly. "And if you ask questions like that, it won't be you." Kara just raised an eyebrow and walked away with her drink. One night, things didn't go as planned. We met a woman named Shayna. Sharp wit, killer boots, eyes that could hold you in place. The attraction was immediate, but as the night went on, I noticed something off. She only flirted with Taryn, barely acknowledged Kara or me. Taryn didn't notice at first. She was tipsy, laughing too loud, loving the attention. But when we got back to our apartment and Shayna made a comment about letting me watch, Kara stepped in. "Stop," she said. Firm but calm, Shayna blinked. "What? You're not here for all of us, so you're not staying." It was the first time we'd asked someone to leave, and it was the right call. That night, after the door closed, Taryn sat between us on the couch and whispered, "I didn't see it. I'm sorry." We didn't blame her. We just tightened the rules. Boundaries became everything. Not just for nights out, but for us too. We learned how to check in without smothering, how to give space without drifting. Kara needed solo time every week to recharge. Taryn needed physical affection to feel grounded. I needed words, reminders that I mattered, that I was seen. We built that in. Sticky notes left on laptops, texts in the middle of the day, random flowers, a shared playlist with dumb names like Soup Night Vibes and Rainy Couch Cuddles. We stopped thinking in terms of who's the favorite. That was never the goal. We weren't competing. We were building. One Sunday, the three of us went to the lake. No clubs, no music, no flashing lights. Just a picnic blanket, wine, and the sound of water lapping the shore. Taryn lay with her head in Kara's lap. I sat cross-legged beside them, watching the sun dip low. "This," I said, "is what peace looks like." Taryn opened one eye and grinned. "You're getting soft." Kara smiled. "She's not wrong, though. We didn't need the clubs, the nights out, the occasional third. We liked them, but we didn't need them. What we needed, what we chose, was each other. Every day." There's something strange about realizing you don't need to explain yourself anymore. At first, everything felt like a conversation waiting to happen. Like I had to prepare for questions from friends, family, strangers about why I was dating two women, why we lived together, how it worked, who was in charge, whether it was real. But over time, the questions stopped mattering. Not because people stopped asking. They didn't. But because I stopped caring if they understood. We knew what we were. That was enough. Kara was the one who grounded us when the outside world felt too loud. She had this quiet wisdom, the kind that doesn't come from age, but from listening. Really listening. The kind of person who notices when you're off, even if you smile through it. And I needed that. After my job cut hours, I felt myself spiral a bit. I didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to feel like the unstable one in our trio. So I just shut down. A little more each day. One night, Kara came into our room and sat at the edge of the bed. She didn't say anything at first, just placed a mug of warm tea on my nightstand and waited. "I'm scared," I admitted. "I know," she said, "but we're not going anywhere." She meant her and Taryn. She meant it fully. Taryn helped in her own way. She surprised me with a dumb spreadsheet, color-coded, filled with job leads and interview tips. I laughed, then cried, and then she cried. And then Kara walked in with snacks like she always did during emotional moments. We didn't need big declarations to know we loved each other, but sometimes we made them anyway. That's how we ended up on a road trip to the Rockies. No plans, no phones, just the three of us in a rented Jeep with terrible gas mileage. At one overlook, Taryn pulled out 3 thin rings. Not wedding bands, just matching, plain silver rings. "No pressure," she said. "But maybe we wear these when we want to remember who we are, no matter where we go." Kara slid hers on. I did too. It wasn't marriage, but it meant more. We still hit clubs every other week, still had our tradition of drinks, dancing, and maybe, just maybe, finding someone who clicked with all 3 of us for a single night. But we stopped searching. It wasn't about adding more anymore. It was about celebrating what we had. Sometimes we met someone amazing. Sometimes we left early and ate greasy takeout in bed instead. Either way, it was our thing. No jealousy, no resentment. That part surprised a lot of people. They'd assume we were always teetering on the edge of drama, that someone had to be left out, that feelings must get hurt. But they didn't understand what we'd built. The late-night talks, the arguments we worked through. The moments we chose to stay when it would have been easier to walk away. What looked complicated on the outside felt simple to us. We loved each other, equally, imperfectly, completely. One night, while folding laundry of all things, Kara said, "We should write this down, our story." Taryn raised an eyebrow. Like a book? Maybe, or just something for us, so we never forget. I like the idea, because people always assume stories like ours are just phases, that they burn bright and fast and leave nothing behind, but they don't see the little things, the shared grocery list, the group calendar, the 3 mugs drying by the sink, the inside jokes that no one else gets. That's not chaos. That's home. Not long ago, we met someone at a club who said, "I wish I had what you have, but I could never make it work. Too much emotion, too many moving parts." Taryn just smiled. "It's not about having less emotion," she said. "It's about respecting each other enough to handle it." Kara added, "We're not puzzle pieces that just fit. We built the table first." I didn't say much. I just watched them, the 2 women who changed my life, and thought, this is what real peace looks like. Not quiet, not simple, but stable, even in the mess. We never married, not in the legal sense. But we did take a photo once, the 3 of us on a cliffside, wind in our hair, arms around each other. I keep it on my desk now. People always ask if they're my sisters. I just smile. No, they're my forever. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe for more content. If you want to share your stories, please comment below. Additionally, what is your opinion on the poster's decision?